Anderson. I am currently the ASB president of Vasquez High School, and I'm here to speak about the CIF probationary period that affects the southern section. Okay. This is a sign to ensure our community's parents that within this district their children will be valued. Yet this particular sign I found while driving along Sierra Highway. It was run over and bent, but should we just leave it on the ground, or should somebody step it up and pick it up? Student athletes who are just below a 2.0 GPA are no different. By casting them aside, it looks as though they are not valued. By directly cutting a student from an athletic team, there is a 72% chance that not only will they lose the drive to regain eligibility, but will struggle even more without the support of teammates and coaches pushing them to strive for academic success. But not every student is academically motivated, and that's where the probationary period would come into play to restore motivation and drive within the student to improve academics. In the CIF Blue Book, Section 205, Article A.1, it states that every school has a right to implement a probationary period for these students. As the board, that's who implements it. These loose guidelines make the board responsible for creating a period that is less than 1 semester in length, with consequences specifying that should a student athlete fail to obtain a 2.0 GPA by the end of the period, participation in athletics would be denied for the remainder of the school year. In CIF Southern Section, there are 571 schools with 82 leagues. I've either researched or been in contact with athletic directors from 151 of these schools. 122 schools responded. Out of those 122, 110 schools have this probation period. That's 89%. Only one league that I could find had no school that had the probationary period. This was Saugus, which makes me understand why Dr. Woodard and Mr. DeVoe would be hesitant on this, because they don't know what it's about. When investigating further, I was able to find existing probationary period policies, and I was able to draw conclusions for a mock policy for Vasquez High School. The potential probation period would be 10 weeks. A student would only be able to apply and receive one probationary period for their entire high school career. This way it doesn't look like a student just gets a get-out-of-jail-free card whenever they feel the need. A student athlete themselves would have to apply and would not be able to with a GPA under a 1.5. During the 10-week period, there would be a review committee of teachers and our principal to monitor these students to make sure they're on track. Mandatory once-weekly sessions at lunch would ensure time for schoolwork. I've been in contact with my advisor, Amy Cesari, and I told her my idea that we should have the Mustang Mentor Program offer students to volunteer to tutor these kids, because not only would they receive the pleasure of helping, of knowing that they help their community, which I know is very important to Dr. Woodard, but they'd also receive ASB hours, which they need to get a good grade in our class. The tutors would receive ASB hours.
I just want to give you a heads up on the 3 minutes.
Okay. The students would receive their ASB hours. Okay. And coaches would also be involved by making sure student schoolwork is their priority. As ASB president, it is my job to represent the students. My campaign was to make each individual voice heard. That was the only promise I made, and I intend to keep that, and that's why I'm here speaking tonight. I've had a petition, and within 10 minutes, I went to the community members, and I got 8 petitions. I went to 9 people, and then I have students and parents who also signed. I have 17 students, and I have 16 parents, and I've only had copies of the petition out for about 4 hours now. Thank you. I plan on putting this back up, by the way.
I had a quick question for you.
Yes.
You said that you talked to 100-some schools, and you said that the majority of them had this program currently in effect, or were they open to it? I mean, they had players playing on this program? They
currently have it. I either emailed or I Googled, because some schools have a very advanced website, and within their website they had a PDF describing all athletic rules and regulations, and on those rules and regulations it said that they employ the probation period.
I want to compliment you on all the time that you put into this. It shows great leadership and representing your student body, and this is something that's ongoing. It's not something that you said something right there about Mr. DeVoe and Dr. Woodard not knowing about it. I'm not clear what you were saying about that. Can you explain that, please? You said it has to do with sagas, I just don't understand.
Yes, I've approached Mr. DeVoe out of respect for the fact that he's my principal, and I let him know that I was doing this, and he didn't seem very clear upon it, so I'm,
You're talking about Saugus High School, correct?
yes.
In William S. Hart.
And that whole district, Hart District, nobody in Hart District has this currently in place.
Did they explain to you when you talked to them why they did not?
No, they didn't. I asked, and they have not responded to me.
Can I take a look at your blue book for a while?
Yes, I have the Post-it
This
notes.
is section 205, article 8.1.
It's the bottom.
When you're ready to leave.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I also concur. Nicely done. Good homework. Well, good job.
In regards to something was said by the last speaker about the district and whether the district bends over backwards for athletes. Setting aside the whole issue of whether there should be a probationary period or not, I just want to clarify that for a lot of years now, including this school board, that we have done everything we can to further sports in the school, to expand the number of sports in the school, to expand access to sports by each and every student, and that we have weathered for many years now a lot of calls on the part of the community to get rid of sports in lieu of putting all our money and focus on academics, which this board has not accepted because we realize the value of sports. So I just want to make sure that we keep it in perspective, setting aside the issue of individual athletes, that the policy of this district and board has been to support athletics to the utmost.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Misty Magnuson, and my son Brandon was one of the players removed from the team for his GPA falling below the 2.0. I would just like to touch base on the fact that we were not told this at the beginning of the season that he would be removed from the team due to his GPA. Also, he did go to summer school to make up the art class that he failed, and he didn't fail that class due to a lack of doing the work. He failed due to his inability to do the work to the capability he should have. He's under an IEP. Also, there is the issue of our schools really revolve around the school sports, and this seems to be tearing our school sports apart, that we're removing so many children from the teams, and a lot of these children are seniors and haven't played before, and a lot of the people didn't really know the rules. I myself did not know that my son would be removed from the team, and a lot of us have paid a lot of money out that nobody's getting refunds for all the money that they've spent, all the time that they've invested into their children's sports, and nobody can even answer a question for us when we call the school and try to address it. So that's pretty much all I would like to say, and I will give the time to the other 16 minutes we have left.
Thank you.
I did not have any knowledge of any of this until this evening. I've always been very much in support of our sports, having had two kids that went through the high school, both of them playing sports, baseball and softball. And we are, as a board, kind of behind, I could say critically behind, in bringing our board policies and rules under review. And I think maybe this is part of the fruit of our not considering it. At least I haven't had the occasion to consider should or should not the student be allowed to have a chance to become qualified if they have not qualified. I think that my personal opinion is that we should have a probationary period. And more important than that, though, I think due process dictates that we put together a process where they know going in not only the rule that they have to have a 2.0, but what happens if they don't. And apparently, if I understand you correct, Brent, we do not even have that.
That's not true.
do. We've been
We-
following that for years.
We do have
Every
a,
student signs a CIF contract that clearly indicates they must maintain a 2.0.
and if they don't,
Then they're off the team. They're not allowed to participate.
Everyone signs a contract.
so there's no second chance, there's no chance to bring up.
Not currently.
And we have to assume everybody is academically inclined to be preparing either for college or something close there too, as opposed to an occupation or a sport.
Not necessarily, no. It's based on a overall GPA, and some students are on different tracks. So the answer is, it's 2.0. It doesn't determine whether or not it's weighted classes or what the type of class is, or it's a 2.0. If you need a 2.0, we've been following that for years. In this particular case, I cannot issue a probationary period because there's no board policy that allows me to do that. CIF mandates that there is board policy that governs the probation structure. There's nothing that exists in our board policy that would allow me to do that.
But we haven't really discussed it. I think what we should do is put it for discussion.
Okay, but
Put it
CIF
on the
doesn't
agenda.
mandate a board
Not at all.
policy.
Not at all.
It sounded
No.
as if you were saying CIF mandated board policy.
No.
CIF mandates a board policy.
If you want.
there's going to be a
That's
waiver.
correct. That's correct. Yeah.
We spent some time in the spring of last year running applications for the student rep position in anticipation of this year. And through that process, through a committee, we vetted Alex Jackson. I'd like to call her up. Alex is a fantastic student, the complete package. She has currently a 4.57 cumulative GPA. Over this summer, she was one of 2,400 students chosen to go to the U.S. Naval Academy for a week. Over 8,000 applied, just to give you an idea of the level of competition. She's currently involved in NHS, National Honor Society, as the president. She's the vice president of GSA. She's involved in ASB. She also runs cross country and plays soccer. Everything but a cape, basically. She's fantastic. We have a great relationship, and I recommend her to you. I think she'll be a fantastic servant for the student body and the board this year.
Mr. DeVoe, if you would, just tell us a little bit about the process of selection.
Well, we have an open application period over a few weeks. It's in the announcements. We have them available in the office. It's very similar to last year where we created a formal process. They have to have at least 2 teacher recommendation letters. They have to write an essay of 750 words or more in which they discuss why they want to serve the community and the students in this way. And then there's a panel interview as well.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Comments or thoughts?
Well, do you want me to explain what's going on?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, so...
Should she be seated here now? Is
Yeah,
that-
please.
Well, why don't you let her speak, and then
All right.
you guys can accept her.
All right, great.
If you can, absolutely.
Okay, so we recently had a school dance called Mort. It was very successful. Over 200 students attended. We have had a volleyball game today, actually, and JV football has been very successful, winning 3 games so far. Cross country meet has a meet this Saturday. Volleyball, girls volleyball had a game today. They've been winning the past couple of games. We recently planted 15 trees donated by PTSO. We had a tree drive, so that was good. We added it to our entrance. So,
Alex, how do you feel about being selected as board rep? What do you hope to bring to this?
well, I hope to bring the students' ideas and what they feel, how the events at Vasquez and everything that's going on.
Okay, so, any questions by the board, and then obviously,
Is this
that's
the
all in
only
favor, then
applicant?
we can move to.
Is this the only applicant, Dr. Borders?
Yes, it is.
And is this are we doing it for the entire school year, or are we doing?
It's the entire school year, yes.
Like, not like last year?
Yes, correct. Each year it might vary just a little bit depending upon, this particular year, Alex would serve the entire year.
How long have you been with the district?
Kindergarten through 12.
Wow.
Well, you seem adequately qualified. Congratulations, as far as I'm concerned. join us, or if you weren't prepared to, please, yes. The Teacher of the Year recognition. Dr. Woodard, who will get it over.
Okay, so obviously tonight is somebody that obviously is very, very close to and very special to me personally, and I'm very proud to have as our Teacher of the Year. However, I will hold you, I'll have Mrs. Simons, if you could come up and introduce our Teacher of the Year.
This is very exciting for us tonight. We have a very special lady that we'd like to present to you. In the process of doing Teacher of the Year, each staff from each school chooses somebody to be considered for Teacher of the Year, and it goes before a committee. This year, our Teacher of the Year was not only nominated from Agua Dulce School, but Meadowlark. She has worked tirelessly with teachers at both sites to ensure continuity at the elementary level, and we are exceptionally proud of her. I would like to ask Mrs. Gail Martin, who helped write the application for her, to come and share that with you.
I'm going to read. Yes, many of the people here are here for Chris Wheeler. We sent the word out. In this district. We have current students, former students, parents, and friends. And we sent the word out because, due to a little mishap at the district office, Chris didn't get the forms to participate in the luncheon. So this is her only recognition. It was just the way it happened. So that's why we decided to bring in as many people as we could, including the other person that nominated her, Jeannie Honeycutt from Meadowlark. So what I'm going to read to you now is the letter that Lois Hupp and I wrote on behalf of the staff of Agua Dulce School. Dear Teacher of the Year Nominating Committee, we wish to nominate Christina Wheeler from Agua Dulce School as the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District's Teacher of the Year for the 2012-2013 school year. Ms. Wheeler provides an effective and well-balanced program for her students no matter which grade level she is teaching. She has embraced the strategies she has learned from attending the GLAD training and the coherent writing training by implementing them in her daily teaching. She uses creative methods to help students achieve grade level standards, such as using quilting to teach geometry. She has established a garden, and for many students, the experience of planting and maintaining that garden is something they will never forget. Chris maintains the garden year-round, even making weekly trips during the summer months. She has encouraged other classes to also participate in the garden. Most students, no matter what achievement level they entered her classroom at, make significant progress throughout the year. Her benchmark scores from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2 this year demonstrated a 41% growth in students achieving proficient or advanced status. In addition, Ms. Wheeler uses the classroom set of computers regularly. Her students use them for such activities as keyboarding, written language skills, and making PowerPoint presentations. She has served on the leadership committee for several years. She has been teacher in charge and on the district level, curriculum, textbook, and ad hoc committees. She assisted in creating ELA and math benchmarks at the 3rd and 4th grade levels. And the one thing I want to point out, she has taught, she's been in the district since what, 1994? She has taught 10 years of splits, 8 in a row. And still gets these results. Besides serving on the committees above, she has provided leadership to the staff in several ways. First of all, she has supported other teachers attending GLAD training and the coherent writing program by modeling, sharing ideas, providing resources, and assisting them with creating materials. Remember, we wrote this in May. She had a third grade fourth split last year and collaborated with the fourth grade teacher. As the other teacher was new to fourth grade, Chris assisted her with curriculum, pacing materials, and organization. In addition, she has also mentored teachers in classroom management, how to conduct small groups, and how to teach computer skills in the classroom. She shows her support of the students of Agua Dulce School by attending and participating in school functions outside of the school day, such as the music program, fundraisers, and variety shows. Ms. Wheeler has high expectations for all of her students. She encourages them to believe they can do the difficult activities she puts before them and helps them find their path to achieve those goals. Her classroom is one where students take responsibility for their learning, treat each other with respect and kindness, and encourage each other as they share their work. Last year, this is one of my students, Chris had a blind student in her classroom that was behind not only in her grade level work, but in her social skills. Ms. Wheeler always made sure that this student participated in every activity and lesson that the class did. She rearranged her room to accommodate the students, materials, and adult assistant. And I will tell you that the Braille dictionary took up the whole back of her classroom. She collaborated with the resource teacher and the vision itinerant to make sure that this student had the same access as all students to the general education curriculum and social activities. For example, this student participated in accelerated reading program, had playtimes with other students, and gardened just like everyone else. These were all new experiences for this child, and Chris set goals for this student that were difficult at first, but were reasonable and achievable. Christine is an excellent role model to represent our district. She embodies several characteristics of what a teacher chosen for Teacher of the Year should possess. She sets high but achievable standards for her students. Besides the academic side of her classroom, she focuses on their development as students and as people. We have nominated Christina Wheeler for Teacher of the Year for 2012-2013 based on her excellence in the classroom and her student-centered leadership roles at both the school and district levels. In addition, Chris has provided support to other staff members by demonstrating how she is using her additional training in her classroom to provide students with an effective and interesting program. Therefore, we respectfully submit the nomination of Christina Wheeler as the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Teacher of the Year, Lois Hupp and Gail Martin, on behalf of the staff of Agua Dulce School. Thank you.
Vacancy. We've decided to move that up and handle that next in case there are people here that could then move on afterwards. So I'd like to move that in. Can I get a motion to move that?
So second.
All in favor? Well, actually, I guess then we'd have the discussion now.
Yeah, now we'll have the discussion and then, correct. And then you'll vote for the appointment.
Is there a vote needed?
Because all you need is a move and a second, now we move into the
Okay,
end.
all right. Great, so I believe we have a couple of candidates here. Did you have a first, we have two candidates, right? Did you have
Mike Fox will interview first.
Mike Fox will interview
And
first.
Lou Benz will interview second.
Okay, so I have here a script that's provided for us to move through this process, so bear with me while I walk through that.
They need to be here right now until it
Yeah,
gets to the
I'll
script
skip
portion.
here. So this is section 11.4 on the agenda, interviews and appointment of a board member for a vacancy. As you may know, with the resignation of board member Deborah Rocha, we need to appoint a new member to complete Ms. Rocha's term. By law, this is an open process. We have received and we have reviewed the candidate's application materials and will be interviewing each candidate. Each board member will have the opportunity to ask a question, and both of the candidates will be asked the same questions to ensure a fair process. Before starting each interview, the candidate will be given up to 5 minutes to present the board with any information that he believes will explain why he's interested in being a board member and what experience has prepared him for this, etc. So we've made a selection in terms of who's going to go first. So if Mr. Fox could start, and then we would ask the other candidate to go ahead and leave the room during that process. And I think Ms. Simons, you'll go ahead and escort them back in later when we're ready. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Mike Fox. First, I'd like to start by thanking you guys for your service. I know that it's a lot of work. I've been to enough board meetings to have seen that, so and I don't take that lightly, so I'm prepared to make that commitment should you choose to choose me. My rationale for applying today is basically a willingness to serve the community and the students in the district. I'm a huge supporter of public education. I'm a product of it, as are my siblings. I went to all up through LA Unified School District when I was a kid. My kids, I've lived in this town for 16 years. I've got 3 children, and we've been part of the school system here for 10 years. They've been in the local schools. As far as professional qualifications that I think I can bring that might be useful to the board is I'm a program manager and an engineering manager at Boeing, satellite systems down in El Segundo. In that capacity, I'm responsible for issuing and managing tens of millions of dollars of contracts. I'm responsible for supervising the execution of significant and complicated build projects and ultimately selling them off to customers. So there's a lot of management expertise there that I can bring forward. Also, you know, way back in college I was a tutor. I enjoyed teaching. That's how I worked my way through college. I've in the past volunteered to do that for the schools for kids who need math and science tutoring because I have that expertise. As far as some community background, I was the local Cub Scout assistant pack leader. I know a lot of the kids at the school through that. I should say assistant Cub master, so we had about 50 kids. And I did that for about 5 years now. I'm an assistant troop master, troop leader in the Boy Scouts, although that's not in the local area. You know, I also volunteer through church. I'm a church deacon at the Little White Church, so you'll see me when you come bringing in your recyclables and things like that. And for what it's worth, I pick up the roadside on Soledad King. I think that I certainly believe that we should serve our community and make it a better place to live, and I encourage my kids to do that, and I try to show that by example.
So, Mr. Vince, thank you so much. You have an opportunity for up to 5 minutes, kind of introductory comments, and then each board member will ask you a question, and you'll have 3 minutes to respond to those.
Okay, thank you. 5 minutes. Dr. Woodward told me 30-minute presentation.
But it's fine as well. If you would like to do that, yeah. If you've got a PowerPoint or something like that, we can put that in.
Computer. Anyway.
But I'll cut you off 5 minutes into it.
Of course. Good evening. My name is Lou Vince, and I'd like to tell you a few background facts about myself, as well as why I'm seeking appointment to the district board, and if appointed, what I hope to focus on. I'm a native Californian. I was born in the San Francisco area. When I was young, my parents relocated to Connecticut, where I grew up and graduated high school. During my service in the Marine Corps, I found myself stationed back in California, and that's when I decided to stay and build my life here. I've been with the Los Angeles Police Department for nearly 20 years, and I'm currently a senior detective supervisor. I know that education is important and a must if you want to be successful in the world today. I earned my bachelor's degree in law enforcement and justice administration, and then my master's degree in criminology, law, and society from UC Irvine. I've lived in Agua Dulce for 8 years. I also spent the last 2 years as a member of an elected member of the Agua Dulce Town Council. My wife and I have 4 children, ages 3, 5, 6, and 8. The 3 oldest are boys, and the youngest is a girl. Which brings me to why I'm here tonight, and why I'd like to be appointed to the board. In September of 2014, I'm going to have 3 students in the district with the fourth to follow in 2015, or maybe all four in 2014 if the rumors about a preschool I hear are true, but I don't know. The Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District is going to be a huge part of my life and a huge part of my family's life for the next decade and beyond. My youngest will graduate high school in 2027. So I want to be here on the board. I want to work and maintain your efficient and effective organizational structure where the administrators and superintendent can manage, the teachers can teach, and the students can learn. If appointed, I will have a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm a good quick study, and the first three things I'd want to focus on, they may change after the learning curve, but one is the budget. I'd want to know that front and back, eat, sleep, and drink the budget. Probably spend some time with Dr. Woodard, and I believe it's Dr. Steve, the CFO. The second thing is building the high school. Now, the board has faced some enormous challenges, and from what I understand and what I know, it hasn't been your fault, but there are still some challenges nonetheless, and I'd like to help make that happen, use some of my skill set. I helped build Topanga Station and Mission Station, which are LAPD stations in the San Fernando Valley. Got a little bit of experience there. And the third thing I'd want to focus on is enrollment. Enrollment, obviously a complicated issue. It affects the budget, and there's many factors that affect enrollment. But I really like what the board's done with their innovation, or your innovative outside the box thinking with the charter schools and the public relations or the community relations campaign with the signs on the side of the road. I think that's a good thing, and I'd like to help with that innovation and encourage it. In conclusion, I just want to say that I think every child has a right to an education that will help them reach their full potential. And I want to bring my management skills, my leadership skills, my passion, and my energy here to help do that. Thank you.
Thank you all, both of you, so much. This was one of the tougher things we've done on the school board, I think.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I mean, it really was.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, and it might have caused us to come to blows because we all felt very passionate. But ultimately, we've concluded that Mr. Fox will be joining us. Mr. Vince, I hope you stay. Mr. Vince, I hope you stay passionately involved, and your kids we're Agua Dulce folks, and your kids are entering into Agua Dulce, and some great things are going to be happening there. And I got to imagine that if you want to be on this school board, there's going to be every opportunity, because it's a thankless job, and there'll certainly be spots open. So thank you so much.
Thank you, board.